Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. As always, the cryptocurrency news is optimistic and weird and chaotic all at the exact same time. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says crypto bull run incoming. Expert outlines top 5 reasons why crypto market is on the rise. You might have noticed if you've been watching the videos over the course of the last, I say a week, not even more than a week. A lot of people have become interestingly incredibly bullish on the cryptocurrency market and widely believe that we are at the moment, the cusp, the edge, the whatever word you want to throw in there, of a massive cryptocurrency bull run. Can't catch it. Prices going too high. The last things that we've been talking about recently have all relatively revolved around the idea of the end of the XRP lawsuit, the upgrade for Ethereum, the institutions and companies who are buying up tons of Bitcoin, the potential, and at this point, I've lost nearly all faith, the potential end of the interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve. There are now rumors circulating that the European Central Bank might be raising rates again. We've heard nothing from the Fed, even as we continue to get rumors that allegedly, apparently, wink, there are other banks that are currently failing and or having tons of issues behind the scenes. It says, will Ethereum skyrocket to 2,000 is a bit of a, it has to go up like $150, but if that's what skyrocket is to you, skyrocket to $2,000 as a result of the key upgrade, I don't think so. Just because I think we would have already seen price movements, positive price movements in Ethereum at the beginning of this month. I think we are still currently in a situation where a lot of coins are undervalued, but I think the vast majority, 90% plus of people within the markets don't know how to value these assets. So as we've seen historically, they look towards the rich in the cryptocurrency space to tell them that they should be buying something. This is the Elon Musk factor, the Mike Novogratz, or the other guy with the hair who tell people constantly, hey, look at the prices of these things. I'm buying a whole bunch of them. And this is usually when the public ends up buying as well, or if there is an actual movement up in price and then people realize that they should have or could have purchased when the price was lower. I assume, as we have less than 7-8 days left for this upgrade, I think the wider public hasn't understood what this upgrade actually means, and I do not think we're going to see any actual price movement unless, something really surprising ends up taking place. It says, is XRP poised for a comeback? Top analyst predicts a rally to $1 soon. The optimism floating around XRP is palpable. You can see it, like it's floating through the air. If you were not here a couple of days ago, there were a number of articles, but the most popular one is the one that I showed on Twitter, where there was an analyst. First of all, analysts with an S have been discussing the movements up of XRP over the last couple of weeks. We got rumors that the lawsuit was going to be ending very, very soon. And XRP went up by like 16-17%. I don't remember the exact number, but it moved up more than it's moved up in the last 2 or 3 years. The rumors have been that as we get closer to the end of the lawsuit, and many other people within the cryptocurrency space who used to throw dust directly into the eyes of Ripple, now are backing them. That is the Coinbase and the other billionaires who are like, oh no, we believe that Ripple is correct against the SEC. Because they understand that if Ripple loses, all the altcoins are going to collapse at the exact same time. So bringing it on back, people are now, and there's one person in particular who made cryptocurrency headlines discussing that he thinks, what is it, by summer or something like that, XRP will be around $4. He then predicted that by the end of this year, this is, I assume, after the end of the lawsuit in their favor. He said he's expecting a $133 XRP. I saw a number of people commenting on this and going completely insane about this. I saw a lot of people. It's really funny how the mind works. The previous all-time high was like 360, 350, 380. I don't know. And I saw a lot of people saying, whoa, I would love $133, but I would also love $8 wouldn't be too bad. You know what, buddy? 133 sounds great, but I would love a $12. Like the mind like simply being like, well, you know what? Let's hit $1 first. 100 sounds incredible. But if we could just get to 5, that'd be absolutely wonderful. So I was laughing because, the realism began to draw people back in to be like, well, a $5,000 XRP sounds great, but I would also just simply love a $5 one. So as we continue to, I don't think it's probably not in this video, no. Constant news of the lawyers and analysts talking about XRP and where the price is going to go and that the lawsuit is going to be ending soon. I think it's just the general sentiment and hype of the season, if you will. Everyone's waiting for the verdict. I'm not sure what's taking the judge so long. And I mean that in the nicest way, in that from the information that we, the public, have received, it is abundantly, blatantly clear that the SEC has lied continuously over the course of the last couple of years. So I'm not sure what needs to be analyzed further when it's clear that they were lying the entire time. This one says, analyst believes the altcoin market is ready for a big move. What? That's crazy. Where's that sentiment coming from? Everyone's thinking it. It's the weirdest thing in the world right now. Everyone is predicting, assuming, believing that we are going to see some type of a major movement. This is a $3,000 Ether. There's another article you're going to see, I think, in a couple of seconds. People are talking about a $40,000, $50,000 Bitcoin. And I mean like on the horizon. I'm not talking about the end of this year. I mean like, next couple of weeks. Like we are, going to be hitting these numbers. The $1 XRP, the Dogecoin stuff we had a couple of days ago where people were talking about, was it 25 cents or 30 cents is nigh. And, you kind of name a coin and it has a very positive outlook attached to it. It says Bitcoin shrugs off regulatory and recession uncertainties. Bloomberg expert claims it is untouchable. As we have all been dragged through the dirty, smelly mud over the course of the last couple of weeks in the financial world, a lot of people are, and I'm not sure if everyone's piggybacking or simply just mimicking in each other at this point. Everyone's talking about how resilient Bitcoin is, how amazingly resilient the price has been over the course of the last couple of weeks. I don't know why I had that accent just kind of popped out. As far as you must remember because I told you, don't fall for it. When we started hearing about the whole banking crisis stuff and a lot of other crypto YouTubers were talking about that Bitcoin's price was going down to 9,000 to 12,000. Well, no, guys, we have to hit a $13,000 Bitcoin again, and then it can go back up. And I was like, where are people getting these numbers from? What makes people think because something bad happens 9,000 blocks away that Bitcoin has to fall by more than half of its current price to be able to move back up? I think people just are special. So anyway, a lot of analysts, and it's usually Bloomberg tends to be a more optimistically positive space for crypto. There are a couple of other news websites they don't like us. But on the flip side, Bloomberg tends to be one of the more, at least casually walking down the middle. And they're talking about that despite all the things going on, they believed that Bitcoin should have been lower. But as it is not, Bitcoin looks like it's only poised to move higher as the stock market does the exact same, and or people continue the accumulation factor. You kind of, you name it. Here's why the fair price of Bitcoin currently is at $42,000. See, I told you, a large portion of the news continuously comes down to this really... Oh, we haven't gotten down to the crazy stuff yet. Like, we are nowhere near the actual crazy news. But a large, and I don't mind it. I won't lie to you. I don't mind that everyone is optimistic because the prices, just based off of logic, should be a lot higher. I'm not talking about where I would like them to be, because if you want that answer, I would love for $150,000 Bitcoin because of all the stuff that's been going on. But just based on general logic of adoption of new addresses made every day, the fact that Bitcoin is still transacting trillions of dollars every single year through the blockchain is incredible. These things are incredibly undervalued, and I think that a lot of times, no, all the time, we get swept away by what's happening in the news, and we assume that. This is why the entire idea of the stock market falling and Bitcoin falling is like, does no one realize what's happening? Like, we are not a part of that system. So I think people get swept up in the idea that one thing bad, everything bad kind of logic. If it's bad 9,000 blocks away, it has to also be terrible in my neighborhood as well. The founder of Capriola Investments, Charles Edwards, has shared in his latest tweet an assessment that Bitcoin is still significantly undervalued at its current price. The creator of the Hash Ribbons Indicator and one of the leading publishers of on-chain models stated that Bitcoin is currently trading at a 33% discount to its fair value. He said the symmetry of the Bitcoin cycle and its fundamental data is something truly unique to Bitcoin. I suspect that it is a trait only found in tamper-proof assets, only Bitcoin. The analyst provided a more detailed rationale in his newsletter, which was obtained by this website. It says Bitcoin's fair value, according to the analyst, is derived from Bitcoin's energy value, which is calculated based solely on the energy expended to secure the network. He said a clean, simple equation that values Bitcoin purely on watts of energy used to create it. This is a very old metric. This is something that we haven't heard about if you've been here since 2015, 16, 17, the idea was that, and still is, I guess, is that Bitcoin has value because of the energy that it uses. I know that sounds a bit abstract and or weird. The idea is that you are on one of those like exercise bikes and you are, pumping away, you're moving your legs as fast as possible. The weight that you will lose is the amount of energy that you expend. Therefore, after the equation comes down to how much weight that you've lost. That's the general idea of it. If you have tons of energy that would normally be your body moving, but that is the energy that's being pushed into Bitcoin, as you need the energy to flow through the cables to be able to power the machines to be able to create a Bitcoin. That then mathematically would be the equation for why Bitcoin has value. It's and I dare say not very old, but it's more of one of the longer things that we haven't heard about. Usually the equations have to do with like network usage, capabilities, how many transactions per second, the trillions of dollars flowing through Bitcoin, how many people are using it on a day, how many new addresses are popping up all the time. I think, what was it, like 10,000 per day new addresses or something ridiculous like that are making new Bitcoin accounts. So this is just one of them. Just another story to talk about that Bitcoin is undervalued. And I shudder to think, if Bitcoin is undervalued just based off of energy usage, what is it if you combine all the metrics together? Should we actually have a $200,000 Bitcoin? Who knows? So that's roughly, nearly, a lot of all the price news that's floating around out there. I don't mind the optimism at all. I just wish truly that they reflected more in the prices. Because I think it would not only be good, but it would also be like a bit of a morale boost. A lot of people who've been in the market for a while, I can feel the sadness and despair is very heavy words, but you understand what I mean. Like, there's like a heaviness in the room constantly, because I think especially when you watch this channel and I bring you the news and it's nothing except for the next story, nothing but really good news, you kind of sit there and go, well, why isn't it being reflected in the prices? And this is the conundrum of the season, because if I could tell you, I most certainly would, because a lot of the world just doesn't make a lot of sense right now. That's the price news. Yeah. Let's move on. I wish people would just stop, but we are going to have evil, ridiculous people no matter where we go in the world. The chief executive of the world's largest crypto exchange, that is Chung Ping Tao for Binance, has announced that the rumors floating around right now are unsubstantiated and that he is not on Interpol's red notice list. For those of you who don't know Interpol, they're not only an amazing band if you don't know them, but Interpol is actually what you would call the world police. So if there's ever a really sensitive issue that's taking place across multiple borders, Interpol will usually be the police that kind of hunts these individuals down. That's, they're Interpol. An apparently doctored image that made rounds on Twitter showed a photo of Chung Ping Tao on Interpol's Red Notice webpage, suggesting that the crypto titan was facing serious legal issues. If you have a red notice, it's like, think of like those crazy Hollywood movies where someone's like, oh my gosh, I have to leave right now. And they're like jumping through windows and running through freeways. And those that if you're on red notice, like you're in trouble. A red notice is a request to law enforcement worldwide to locate and provisionally arrest a person pending extradition, surrender, or similar legal action. So apparently the image was photoshopped. A lot of people, however, didn't get that from the beginning and started spreading the rumor also amongst a number of other crypto YouTubers. And I understand, believe me, I get it. I want the clicks. I want the views. I want the likes. That was a hint. I want the comments. I want the good metrics as well. But people saw this news, and the first thing that they did was make videos about it and share this news on Twitter, getting tens of thousands of reshares, prompting a large number of people to believe that Chung Ping Tao was not only on the red list, but that he was on the run. And a large number of people began to actually sell off their crypto that was on Binance, and people began to take their money off of Binance, and people began to sell their Binance coin. You see how this all becomes a problem because people just want the clicks and the likes. Rumors that Interpol is on the lookout for the whereabouts of Chung Ping Tao began when crypto influencer, someone called Kobe, Cobie, tweeted a SHA-256 hash which contained an encrypted message which read, Interpol red notice for Chung Ping Tao. Anyway, so that's one of the major news stories that's currently still floating around. If you heard the opposite, this is the true story. He is not being hunted by Interpol. He, as far as we know, is not in trouble in any way. And I will repeat this as well. There is something going on behind the scenes that we do not know about. Understand that the larger players in the world are trying to make hundreds of millions of billions of trillions of dollars from the cryptocurrency market. The uptick in the amount of negative, scary, illegal news that we've been getting about Chung Ping Tao and Binance over the last 4 weeks has been absolutely insane, and it's meant to bring down Binance because the larger players want to take over the position of where Binance currently is. There was news sometime last week, and I don't think I put it in any video. There were rumors that Chung Ping Tao was, I don't even think I can say the word, that he was DED. Yeah, you can, sound it out. And also, that also, of course, people were like, nope, that's not true. And there was also something else that he had stolen millions of dollars. So people are trying their hardest. I wish we lived in a better world where terrible people did not exist. But this is what, this is what we got. This is what we inherited. Binance founder Chung Ping Tao denies sudden red Interpol notice rumors. Here's the latest. I just gave it to you. So let's hope for the best. Let's hope that things continue to not be ridiculous. I assume over the course of next week, there will be another fake Binance rumor. Some of them actually end up working. That's the problem. A lot of people keep taking off their money from Binance and putting it onto other cryptocurrency exchanges. I would, in no uncertain terms, I would not be surprised if this was being done by other crypto exchanges because they're probably tired of Binance taking all the spotlight from them. That's the Binance. Chung Ping Tao is not on Interpol's red list news. Yeah. Let's move on. Also in, I believe it. Don't ask me why. I actually believe it. A member of the XRP community has filed a Freedom of Information Act FOIA request back in early 2022 in August regarding communications between the US SEC and JP Morgan involving Ripple Labs and XRP. In a new update, Ashley Prosper shared that the request continues to be delayed. Prosper is seeking disclosure of an SEC communication with JP Morgan about Ripple and or XRP. The current response letter states that the SEC has recently received the search result and is now reviewing them. You know that they're not. Apparently, there are a large number of records that require confidential treatment, the agency's email reads. I'm not reading through the FAQ, if you will. Basically, without having to elaborate much further, someone has stated or has found online information that they believe links the SEC to JP Morgan, in that allegedly they are alleging that JP Morgan might have allegedly paid off the SEC to start a lawsuit against Ripple. I will say I do not know if this news is true. Do I believe it? 947,000%. That's the exact number that I'm going to give you. Simply because Ripple, and therefore the XRP token, is meant to be a worldwide payments system, if you will. They are the most likely, as a company within the cryptocurrency space, to be adopted by banks. That is to say, I don't expect that banks are going to move over to a Bitcoin standard anytime soon. I think we could see banks building stuff on top of Ethereum, but I do not think they'll be using Ether. I do not think the same thing for Cardano or Tron or any other coin. The amount of partnerships that Ripple has within the banking sector would lead me to believe out of the top 10 coins, they would be most likely adopted by banks. Everyone with me? Good. On the other side, do you remember that JP Morgan Chase tried to create a JP Morgan coin? Yes, they tried to create their own stable coin, and they were trying to get Bank of America and a number of other banks to use it. And guess what? Nobody wanted to use JP Morgan coin. So on the idea that there is a company that potentially has dozens of partnerships with banks around the world, many of which are now inside the UAE and other places in Mexico and in Southeast Asia, who are already using XRP as a payment method, it would not surprise me that the largest or one of the largest banks on the planet, trying to get their own coin to be used, would try to push aside the company that would have the highest chance of being adopted by banks for their payment system. You might also remember, this was a couple of months ago, a year ago, I don't remember the time frame. Ripple announced that they are working with a number of different countries to build a central bank digital currency. The idea would be that I help you build it. You build it on top of the XRP ledger. So therefore, your central bank digital currency is running and also performing with and using XRP in the background. One of the questions for the document says, a very compelling read question. So how much does Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan donate to the SEC? My next FOIA. Prosper wrote at the time, further detailing that the lawsuit named harmed thousands of XRP holders to the tune of billions of dollars. I would not be surprised at all. Like, I mean, actually, I would be more shocked that it was just one bank. I would assume that there were dozens of banks in this actual thing working behind the scenes. You have to understand, if the US dollar is down and out, not doing well, and they're looking for a replacement, banks want to make sure that they are the replacement that ends up taking over or pushing aside the US dollar. They don't want a Bitcoin. They don't want an Ether. They most certainly do not want an XRP. So this was quite popular news. XRP is in the news all the time, whether it be from the lawsuit or now even from the rumor about JP Morgan. I literally would not be shocked at all. That's the Ripple rumor ruse. I was trying to put another R there. It didn't work out. Okay. Let's move on. In the most popular news story that we will ever get within our lifetimes, for those of you who missed it, Twitter has unofficially changed the logo on their website. For those of you who have not been on Twitter, they changed their logo to a Doge, like this, like the actual Dogecoin face. I went on Twitter. I thought it was a joke. Nope, it was there. A lot of people announced that it seemingly was a very late April Fool's joke. I don't think so. I'll try and give it to you as smoothly as possible. For those of you who don't know, there is a massive lawsuit against Elon Musk right now. You know I don't like Muskie. If you haven't been here before, well, now you know. However, I think the $258 billion lawsuit, I don't think people know how numbers work. It's kind of like, there are a lot of times where people, anyway, the idea is that people announced online, this was last year, that because Elon Musk promoted and or liked Dogecoin / likes Dogecoin, and when the price fell, that therefore that constituted a security. When I talk about the actual dangers of not understanding how finance works, and when I always say do your own research, it's because of things like this. Because you bought something, you as an adult used your own money to purchase something, and the value of that thing fell, that does not constitute a security. Remember back in 2018 when XRP's price was falling and that guy launched a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Ripple because he lost $500? It's greed. It's greed and stupidity. There's no way to sugarcoat any of that. So once again, I don't care for Muskie, but I think a $258 billion, that's like, isn't that like 1/5 of the current entire market value of the cryptocurrency space? It just literally does not make any sense. And it is believed that he changed the logo of Twitter from the blue bird to the Dogecoin icon as a bit of a wink or poking fun at the lawsuit that's currently going on. I do not think that Elon Musk wearing a Dogecoin shirt or talking to the Dogecoin team or anything else constitutes Dogecoin being a security, because when you buy things, especially if you are investing in them, you buy them with an expectation of profit. If someone else told you to buy Dogecoin, why are you not suing them for $258 billion? You believe, or the person filing this lawsuit, they think that Elon Musk actually has that money liquid, which is also another problem because people don't know how the world works. You know, when you hear that a billionaire has like a $47 billion net worth, you know that person doesn't have $47 billion in the bank, right? And I know someone just chuckled because they're like, of course not. But someone else was just like, what? Yeah. So the way that it works is that it's an accumulation of all of your assets put together. So if you are a billionaire, it's the 700 apartments that you own. It's the luxury watches that may cost several million each. It's the other land that you own. It's the other companies that you have stake in. It's the thousands of company stock that you have. Someone sits there and accumulates all the numbers and they go, based off of this information, we believe that this person is worth X amount of money. This is why a lot of times you'll hear in the news that a billionaire or millionaire is selling off some company's stock, and then people stupidly go, oh my gosh, that's so bearish. And it's like, no, their net worth is tied in that company. They also want to buy things, so they end up selling $40 million so that they can actually go buy their boat and buy their home because their money isn't completely liquid. I'm flabbergasted constantly how people don't. Do you think Elon Musk has $258 billion sitting in one bank account? Why at any point would that make any sense? So anyway, everyone lost their minds. Dogecoin actually rose by a sturdy 30% when this news was released. Why did Elon Musk change the Twitter logo to the Dogecoin cryptocurrency meme? I assume he's just probably as tired as everyone else of all the stuff that's been going on. He's like, you know what? I don't even care. Just make it a dog. The idea now that a lot of people are having is that they believe this could lead to an announcement that Dogecoin is going to be added to Twitter. We heard it from him before. I assume there's a lot of regulatory hoops that they have to go through. As much as you might like Muskie, he is not God. He cannot simply bypass the SEC and the CFTC anti-money laundering and know your customer laws and rules. If he wants to get Dogecoin onto the platform, which I assume that he does because I assume that he has a lot of Dogecoin, he has to go through all the regulatory hurdles that take years to do. He would then have to make sure that if anyone would use Dogecoin on Twitter, they would need your information. That's what a lot of people also keep forgetting. In the situation where Dogecoin would actually be on Twitter and you click the little, I want to interact in Dogecoin. The moment you do that, they would need your name, your number, your address, probably your social, depending on where you're located in the world. Because if you at any point over the course of a year were sending little payments back and forth and it equated to more than $10,000 by the end of the year, you would have to tell the government, and the government would have to be informed. If not, you would get in trouble for money laundering. So all of that takes time. I assume here's some logic. I assume Twitter is at some point going to have Dogecoin as an actual payment method. I think it's also going to have Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's probably going to have a whole slew of coins, but just not now. But you can bet your lucky dollar, silver dollar, some kind of dollar, that they're probably going to be adding it over the course of the next couple of years. So very popular news. If I could figure out a way to be as influential as Elon Musk, I think we'd live in a literal utopia at this point. If I could change the Twitter logo to a TMI and be like, hey, everyone, go outside and help someone else. Donate. Be nice to your neighbor. Having that amount of influence, we'd live in a whole different world. That's the Elon Musk, or rather someone in an office at Twitter, change the bird logo to a Doge news. Yeah, I told you the news was going to get weird. All right, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: American Crypto Academy, Martin Stoyer, Buddy McBoatface, Sam Ratter, Dotha, Diddy, Mandy Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, and let's move on, Empire Queen, Roman Gaba, Bitcoin Ben Arachno, Dave the Dealer, Zen Captain, Something in the Z-Way, Lay, Mobarazzi, VB Nerd 21, Lauren DeSilva, Quarter Bitty, Troy, Olga, Space Case, Nina Miracle, Pattern, Nasser, Navarro, Wims, Utopia 569, Moonman, High, XR, Pino, Stroma, Josh Harsing, the Anima Rita, Abilbiophobia, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold Duty, D-Set, Suna, Paxis, Jim Gardner, Jimmy Fox, Minting Coin, Jester Crypto, Anytime for this, Mom's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, and on Crypto with Lionel. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone, every single one of you out there who has left a like, who has left a comment, who has left multiple comments, who has subscribed. Thank you all of you for your continued support over the last 6 or 7 years. I've made more than 2,500 videos on this channel. It doesn't make any sense. Can you conceptualize that number? If you had told me 7 years ago I would have made 2,500 YouTube videos on one channel, I would have been like, you are out of your gosh darned mind. I do hope you've all enjoyed. I hope you all that. Did you see that? What was that? Did you see the gigantic head that was there? What was that? That was so creepy. I do hope you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great, let me see if I can find it. Great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Oh, it's gone. Do hope it's absolutely fantastic. It was like twice the size of that. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, subscribing, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.